In today's Bay Area People, we're going to meet a young man with an incredible talent. He's established a remarkable career through his camera.
But his story is also about the illness that led him to find that gift. KTV's Claudine Wong here now with more on his story. Claudine.
Really a remarkable story. Now, I met Adam Jacobs when he was actually at a shoot for a local nonprofit because he actually gives a lot of his time back to help the community. And that is when I first heard his story and all that he has faced, overcome, and embraced. It has been a long road, but he tells his story because he hopes it will help others. Look at Adam Jacobs and you see a young man with an extraordinary life. A man who sees the world through his own unique lens and whose talent has taken him across the world.
Photograph Super Bowls and Olympics and meet presidents and be in the home of Nelson Mandela with Bill Clinton and Sir Mick Jagger and countless athletes, and really take me to the most unbelievable places.
But there is so much to Adam Jacobs that we can't see.
From the second I wake up till the minute I go to bed, I have a migraine. I feel chronic head pain, I feel dizziness, I feel nausea, and the challenge with it is it's an invisible illness.
Jacobs lives in constant pain. Ice helps, so does the dark, and so does medication. But nothing ever stops it, not since it started more than 10 years ago.
This was literally my first week in college. I'd got sick 6 weeks before in South America from eating some shrimp. This one migraine morphed into 2 migraines, to 3 until I had a migraine 7 days a week, 24/7, and eventually led to me having to drop out of college.
Jacobs, an active and healthy child, spent the next 2 years lying in the dark. Doctors in the UK couldn't figure out what was wrong and finally sent him to specialists at a pain clinic in Michigan.
They compare it to rehabilitating someone who's had a stroke. I'd go to the grocery store, I'd go to the supermarket for 5 minutes at a time, gradually building up my level of activity. And as I was doing that, I'd always take a camera with me as a distraction to how much my head hurt.
He spent months being treated, and one day his love for sports brought him and his camera to the Big House at the University of Michigan, the largest stadium in North America.
So I went there with my camera and I snapped a few shots, and I subsequently created the photograph you see behind me, which was a stitch of 20 photographs put together.
He had the photo developed at a local camera shop.
The lady came out when I went to pick the photo up, and she said, actually think this is pretty unique and somewhat original. Do you mind if I show it to someone who works in the University of Michigan athletic department?
She did, and he's never looked back. That photograph was the start of a career which has now put him in an elite class of artists. But wherever he has gone, the migraines are with him. It took 6 years to finally put a name to his suffering.
And I got diagnosed with something called POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It means my brain and my body don't quite talk to each other how they should.
There is no cure.
It's a part of me. It's not going to go away.
And so, like his world, his pictures are complex. This picture of Buckingham Palace is 200 photos stitched together. There are 400 in this picture of the Olympic closing ceremonies. And this one of the Super Bowl has more than 500.
And I often like to composite photographs together to show things that are somewhat surreal and not perhaps the way that the normal person would see them.
And his latest project, Urban Reflections, taken in New York, may make you dizzy.
It actually was created from me hanging, which I never thought I'd do, hanging directly out of a helicopter, looking straight down, which my doctors gave me a real slap on the wrist for, and I paid for afterwards. The photograph you see is Wall Street, actually, that I wanted to create to look like a ring. It almost resembles like the Super Bowl ring.
Right now, he's working on a San Francisco version. And while he would trade it all for a chance to feel life without pain, he says he knows it is his illness that allows him to see the world like this, bold and saturated in color, detail, and light.
Big, like in-your-face look and style and aesthetic in the photographs that I think somewhat says this is an Adam Jacobs photograph. Often, even with somewhat of a dizzying, like migrainous perspective, I say it's a window into my migrainous world.
His is a story of gratitude and hope.
When I was 18 and I was lying in that dark room, I never thought I'd get married. I never thought I'd be able to live on my own. I never thought I'd be able to even cook a meal for myself.
But But he came out of that dark room, graduated from school, found love, and created a life. And he hopes his story helps someone else find the light. So Jacobs is hoping to start a group or a nonprofit here that will help give people more information about POTS. He also has a show coming up in April in San Francisco where he will show those urban reflections. So it is a lot ahead for this young man.
Yeah, it's an amazing art. I have to ask, though, if he's sensitive to light and sound, yet he's in the middle of the Super Bowl and these extreme conditions, how does he manage that?
So he's got all these tools, and you might not see it if you actually saw him taking photos. He actually wears a big beanie, and it has ice in it. He's got earplugs, and he's got sound-reducing headphones, and he goes in and he takes these pictures very quickly, and then he gets out. Like, he's taking pictures of Elton John, does not stay for the concert because it's too much for him, but he has found a way to live with it, and and with this gift, kind of endure. But it is a lot for him to take. Yeah.
Phenomenal story.
Well, if you want to see more of his pictures, because they're really quite incredible, you can check out his website, Instagram, Twitter accounts, all by visiting KTVU.com. We'll put the links on our Bay Area People page.
All right, Claudine, thank you.